Up next, Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Let's go crazy.
I had an inkling that this movie would be good. Just wasn't expecting it to be this good. First and foremost, Gal Gadot expands greatly on the role that will more than likely catapult her into superstardom. You believe her as Diana Prince with a very honest performance whereby you forget you're seeing an actress play the character and you just see the character on the screen. In the same vein, when people watch the Christopher Reeve Superman flicks, they didn't see an actor playing Superman, they just saw Superman. Chris Pine does well with what he has to work with as Steve Trevor, and it has to be said that the paper-thin romance angle between him and Diana was just a chore to watch, as there was no weight to their relationship. Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone from Amazing Spider-Man had better chemistry. Same thing with Amy Adams and Henry Cavill from Man of Steel. It just felt like Chris and Gal were going through the motions with that aspect of the movie. Danny Houston phones another performance in, as he so often does, with the lone exception of 30 Days of Night. By the way, I haven't forgotten about X-Men Origins Wolverine. Try as I might. Yeah, he sucked in that movie. The visual and special effects, as I will remind you, and Victor Cross will remind you, visual and special effects, two different things. And they are decent for what you'd expect of a superhero movie, and the action scenes do get your adrenaline going. At the moment, opinion only, I'd say this is probably the best standalone DC movie in their cinematic universe. Although, that could be challenged with the standalone Batman movie. Win, you're up.
I have to say, I rented this yesterday because I never really had the chance due to a heavy work schedule when Wonder Woman came out. I rented it last night. I watched it twice. And I've got to say, I've had a blast. And it was just a treat. The visuals were pleasing to the eyes. Gal Gadot gave a very, very convincing performance. I loved the kind of chemistry between her, Steve, and the other group of ragtag soldiers as they're beating the ever-loving crap out of Nazis. I loved the fight between Ares and Diana. It was just really, really good. The pacing was well executed. I just love everything about it so far, especially how visually appealing they made Themyscira. And the fact that they kind of made the story about the Amazons kind of look similar to that of an old Greco-Roman fresca.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, fresco. But yes, all in all, good movie. Loved it. And that's all I have to say about that.
Kaiju Noir.
Okay. It must have been, or it must have felt like a Herculean task of coming up with a film that could escape the terrible reputation of Batman v Superman, all while making a faithful adaptation of one of the most famous female characters in modern-day fiction. Yet everyone involved in the making of this film, in the making of the Wonder Woman film, succeeded in my eyes. Being that my mother is a diehard fan of the character, mostly due to the Linda Carter television series, and hearing how much she adored the film, I honestly had tears of joy running down my face as I finally saw my mom's idol up on the big screen when the film finally came to Japan. Simply put, Gal Gadot captures the breathtaking all the breathtaking heroic qualities of the Amazonian princess, including her sympathetic need to protect all life, her graceful beauty, her naive yet attentive attitude, and her athletic prowess. Her supporting cast cast, which included Chris Pratt as her love interest, Steve Trevor, and Connie Nielsen as her mother, Hippolyta, all help flesh the worlds of both man and the Amazons, providing two wonderfully contrasting societies, one trapped in a safe yet unchanging world, and another that's progressing but potentially towards its own destruction. Also, Wonder Woman's theme has got to be one of the most exciting superhero themes I've heard in a long time, especially in an era where everybody wants to copy Hans Zimmer's style. Much like Logan, this is another film where the villain feels like a bit like an afterthought, and the climate itself felt a bit lackluster, as it was simply two superhumans throwing each other at hunks of metal across a boring flat surface, kind of similar to what we had in BBS. Yet it did not prevent the movie from being an overall exciting period piece superhero film about a character people have waited decades to see in cinemas.
Man's done it again. Who else saw Wonder Woman?
Me. I did.
Lydia.
Well, DC and Warner Brothers, 1 out of 3 isn't bad. This was a fun and enjoyable film, and we can thank Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot for that.
Yep.
Gal is Diana Prince, or Diana. She showed glimpses of that in Batman vs. Superman, but we finally got to see that and come to fruition in this film. We got to see her evolution from the naive and eager young warrior ready to see the world and change it beyond her home to a powerful goddess who confronted the god of war and won. The visuals were gorgeous and possibly the brightest film in any of the DC universe. And that includes all the scenes in Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Gal Gadot, Chris Pine did a decent job as Steve Trevor, and although I will admit, it was kind of ironic to see another Steve die in a plane crash in World War I. It's like, oh, that's funny. I thought that was ironic. But yeah, I'll agree with Kaiju. Their chemistry was, they would have been better off as friends instead of building off as a romance. Yeah. I would have did that. And Patty Jenkins, again, did a good job directing this film. And to think this woman was going to direct Thor the Dark World.
Really?
It could have been a decent film. And I honestly can't wait to see the sequel to Wonder Woman. And I'm so glad that Wonder Woman's finally getting some much deserved respect. Just seeing little girls to dress up like Wonder Woman, I'm like, that warms my heart because she's deserves that for her long history. She deserves that as a character.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that was kind of one of the reasons why I was so emotional when I saw the movie myself, because in my head, I was just thinking of how happy every single fan of Wonder Woman must have felt when they all got the chance to see this movie for the first time.
Yeah. I've been waiting forever for this movie.
Yeah. And thankfully, they did not screw this one up.
No, they did not.
DC Cinematic Universe, this is how you do a movie.
Yeah. I can only assume that DC was, like, right now DC has been trying to get their cinematic universe back on track, and so it's like I think that they initially had this plan, like, okay, we're gonna do this movie, and this movie. All right. Oh shit, they didn't like Man of Steel. Well, let's make some changes to BVS. Oh shit, they didn't like BVS. All right, let's do some changes for Justice League. Let's let Wonder Woman be its own thing. Oh shit, they liked Wonder Woman. Okay, let's do some more changes to Justice League.
Oh, let's make sure that Suicide Squad is funny, by the way. Let's make that funny.
Oh, yeah. Oh shit, they didn't like that either.
Oh, God, no!
Like the one movie they didn't, I think Warner Brothers didn't really have a lot of faith in Wonder Woman and just allowed it to be its own thing. So it's like the one movie that people did like, and they're like, oh crap, now we gotta put whatever was good there and put it here too. It's like, Kathy Jenkins, where are you? Wait, come back!
We need you!
Don't leave us!
I can leave or I can leave you.
We can hear the fans boiling the tar and plucking feathers off of chickens as we speak.
I thought it was an interesting take to have her origins set in World War One and not World War Two, like it had been originally in the comics.
My theory was that maybe they tried to do that just to distance itself just a wee bit from Captain America: The First Avenger.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
Raiden.
You guys pretty much said it. I mean, DC, congratulations. You finally got a W. Now, I think I have to explain this once again. I mean, I don't hate DC. I love both DC and Marvel. I mean, the content they produce is fun, but when it comes to the movies, aside from the Nolan Batman movies, with the exception of 2, I didn't like Dark Knight Rises. But excuse me. With Wonder Woman, I was thoroughly impressed on how they did the lore. I mean, I really liked how they just sought through the Greek mythology and just made it part of the story itself. Fight scene wise, it was amazing. Gal Gadot kills it as Wonder Woman. Really like the costume. I mean, fight scenes in general was just all around amazing. And some movies that I wish that were good, I.e. Suicide Squad. Wish they had people like Eddie Jenkins that captured every single moment. So once again, DC, you finally got a W.
Yep.